Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Graham Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now. I could pay off my tab, pour myself in a cab, and be back to work before 2. At a moment like this, I can't help but wonder, what would drunk astrology do? Funny you should ask that, listener. I'd say, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. You better sing. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. He don't care. And I don't care. One more time. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Woo! What is going on? Welcome to the podcast for the week of May 8th through the 14th, 2023. I had to take it back to my roots, y'all. First of all, this recording is taking place on Cinco de Mayo, so it only just felt right that on the 5th of May, we have a little 5 o'clock somewhere moment, because it just all kind of seemed to add up to me. And if you don't know, Alan Jackson, Jimmy Buffett, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I hope you know that this was a production on this end. The amount of times that I have recorded and then re-recorded and then decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and put my Bluetooth headphones in so that I know my timing. Now, usually, and I don't think this is going to be any surprise to any of you, usually, you know, I just freestyle it and I just go. But this time I was like, no, I'm taking it back to the country roots, and this deserves, you know, I want my notes, I want my timing, I want my tempo. And just, I think, a great mood for this week as we're going into, are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Mercury stationing direct, da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da. I think that is something that is worth a song of celebration, of excitement, of happiness, of letting go, and letting loose, letting our hair down, being free, just kind of. And also, we do have a week where these, like, we get a burst of inspiration, independence, freedom. We have that in the sky this week too, with the Sun and Uranus coming for their annual conjunction. We'll talk about it. We've got Mercury stationing direct. We have Venus newly in Cancer, so now she's changing up her vibe, leaving chatty, charming, and flirty Gemini, and now love gets more heartwarming, more heartfelt. Matters of the heart now appeal to us more than when Venus is in Gemini. We're kind of like, will I, won't I? Don't know. Like, oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're cute. Okay. And now you're boring. I want to go somewhere else. Oh, you went too deep for me. Don't want to go that deep. Bye. I'm over here. That's Venus in Gemini. Venus in Cancer is more like, wrap the warm blanket around me, give me a big old bowl of buttered popcorn, a side of delicious brownies, maybe a glass of wine, and a Netflix binge. That's more Venus in Cancer. So for the next several weeks, love gets more that vibe. She gets more homey. And then you can just look at your chart, find where Cancer falls in your chart, whether you got planets there, what house does Cancer rule. Maybe it's more than one. But regardless, Venus in Cancer is now warming up those zones, and now she makes you more attractive in that zone, more magnetic, more willing to connect and partner, right? Like, I'll just use myself for an example. Cancer is my 11th house, so we're talking about friends, groups, communities, events, and I've got some of that en route, some of which I'm going to be sending you invites for. I've asked you over the last several weeks, if you don't live in the SoCal area, but you think that come end of June, you would be down to come to an event hosted by Drunk Astrology, it is like a pinky toe into a Drunk Astro retreat. It is a pinky toe. History in the making, as one of my clients says, who's actually coming to this event. Flying in, I just want you to know, I'm not gonna put them on blast just yet until I officially announce. But I got a band of VIPs, and one of them has already booked the trip, booked the res, booked the flight, and we're putting together some things that are just gonna make this whole experience an experience. Okay, so if you want to know and you want to be in the loop and you're like, wait, well, I need to make travel plans, so can I get the info now? If you're down and you're about it and you want to come, I'm going to make sure that anybody that comes to this event and comes here specifically to like do all the things and hang, I'm going to make sure that, we got ample amount of things for you to do. You just send me a message. I will put what will I do? You know what? I have a link in the show notes already that takes you to the website. Get thee to the website, and then I have a contact form there. Super easy to get in touch with me. My email is right there. Well, there's a form on the website, but, you can also, my email address is there too. You can get in touch with me and let me know, and I will let you in on what's happening and see if you can make some plans, because this is going to be really fun and really exciting, and it's the first time that Drunk Astrology will be hosting a big event at a big place. And it's kind of a big deal, especially those of you that have been with me for a long time. You know how we started, like how it was, and now what is the thing? What's the meme where it's like back then and then how it's going? Or oh my gosh, I'm flubbing miserably, but basically that, like, how Drunk Astrology began versus where it's at now is like, it's crazy. And it's only going up from here. There's only more things coming. I've had some retrograde moments that were actually really, well, they were great conversations, but retrograde got the best of them and it didn't work out. But I've had some offers for some other major things, to be a part of major things. It's just been pretty wild and crazy. The business is businessing, and I couldn't be more excited. And I started this business to help as many people as I could improve their daily lives. And the more and more I get to just spend time with the people that have me in their headphones right now, or are listening to me in the car, on a walk, or while you're washing dishes, as you're getting ready for work, or as you're getting ready for bed. I've had so many people reach out and say, like, you have no idea, you're part of my morning routine. Those of you that are daily dosers, like, it's just all so exciting for me, and I'm taking it all in. And I'm sorry I can't go into like full detail yet, like publicly yet. But I just want to just put it in your earwaves, because it would be something that if you're down and willing and able to come, and you don't live in the SoCal area, because I know a lot of my listeners and a lot of my clients, they're on the East Coast, they're Central Time. So, I know that it would take effort, and I just want you to know that if this is something that you want to do, or coming to LA for a Drunk Astro event, is something that you'd want to do just in general. Yeah. And it's not like this is a fun thing. I host new moon workshops every month at Tansy in Burbank. But this isn't that, and I do card readings at the Lion Hotel. I do, sometimes I'm down there for Fourth Fridays at the Hangout in Long Beach. This isn't one of those things. This is like retreat-ish, but gone drunk astro on steroids. And it's all fun. It's all fun. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. I'm not going to put you through a seminar, workshop. I'm not going to do anything like that. But I do have lots of fun activations taking place. So if that's something you're willing to do, I want as many people that listen and that are a part of this tribe to be there, because y'all are the reason why I'm doing this. All the things, this being like the business in general. So let's just see. Do I have any news board items? I don't believe I do. I think we might get out of Dodge relatively quick. Oh, did I retrograde myself? I did. I totally retrograded myself. I usually take notes. I've literally taken notes before every single podcast the same way for over 3 years now. 3.5 years? 2.5 years. However long it's been. I started this in 2021. So 2.5 years. I have taken notes the same way, but this week, on this here occasion, this is the one time I took notes. I didn't even take them remotely like I usually do. And that's because my brain, with Mercury retrograde, has been all over the map, and maybe yours has too. You're not the only one. You're not crazy. This is the last week. We got to get all the way to Sunday, and then we'll have Mercury station direct. I just said Sunday. I really... The Kentucky is really coming out of my mouth right now. It started with Alan and Jimmy Buffett, and now it's coming out. Also, this weekend's the Derby, so I feel extra activated since my hometown is hosting their huge annual event at Churchill Downs. Maybe I should make a bet. Let's look at those aspects. I don't really know if I should be doing that. So I don't think I have any news board items, other than if you're not familiar with a Daily Dose of Stars and what that is, the daily podcast, 2 to 5 minutes long, to get you in sync with the stars every single day, the do's and don'ts of each day, using the astrology as the roadmap. Okay? So we talk about the aspects each and every single day. And I tell you, this is what it's good for. This is what it's not good for. You're going to blow your money if you go to the grocery store and do a big haul under this aspect or under this moon phase. But then there's other days where fate and destiny are on your side, and I give the daily dosers those days too, because when you work in sync with fate and destiny, because yes, there are points called the nodes of fate. When you work in sync with when they are moving forward, because they mostly run retrograde, but when they do move forward, fate and destiny, and you can take charge of that, and that's what I pump the daily dosers full of. If you're interested in that, just scroll up into the show notes, scroll up on the episode page that you're on right now, and just click the Daily Dose of Stars link, and it'll take you right to the site, and it'll tell you, it'll give you so many. I have so many testimonials and quotes from Daily Dosers that like I didn't have enough space on the friggin' landing page to put them all and to still make it aesthetically pleasing. So I'm going to be dropping some of those things on Instagram just so you can see. You don't have to hear it from me. You can hear it from the over 40 subscribers we have on there. It's really exciting. I mean, like this business, I'm telling you, this business is wild. Like this podcast is like a full-on, I don't even know. I don't want to go off on a tangent. It's just like my mind keeps getting blown by like, oh my God, I started this back in July of 2018, and my videos were so boring. My posts were so boring. I mean, well, maybe not boring. I just had no direction. I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Today the moon is void. That means when the moon is void, you want to just take it easy. And then I started creating characters, and then I started doing insane things with filters. But I beg to say that my best material was no filters, just me being insane. Well, since that is all, we have a light load there in terms of news board. Just to remind you what Daily Dose of Stars is. We can move on to the moons, and then we'll get into the planets, and then we'll get you on to your week. So we've got, again, this is the week of the 8th through the 14th. Monday, we begin the week with a Sagittarius moon, which the moon loves. It's Jupiter's sign, so travel, adventure, expansion, reading books, taking a class, taking a course, taking a little road trip, which is actually, funny enough, why I am recording this a little earlier than I normally do, because yours truly will be on a road trip to Joshua Tree and spending a couple days down there with my friend Kaylee Collar, Wu Sign, just doing a little like, let's breathe. And then I'll be right back in business as usual. But the moon does go into Capricorn on Monday, where it will be Tuesday and Wednesday until late. And then the late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the moon is in Aquarius. And then late Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got the moon in Pisces. So this week we are in the top of the chart. Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So we begin this week very much at the top of our game. We are active. Things are happening outside of us. Work is important. Well, let's just think about themes. Travel with Sagittarius. Capricorn, we're always looking at work and home life. Aquarius, friends, groups, communities, the collective, collaboration. And then Pisces, sleep, rest, leave me alone, I'm tired. I need a friggin' break. Is the vibe there? Okay, so we have a very active week where you will likely be more outside. If you've been someone that works remote like I do, working remote, you're a little more behind the scenes, or a little more just kind of like tucked into your own little corner, your own little version of silo. This is a week where you're likely coming out. Okay? So you've got your themes with the moons. Now, let's just talk about the planets, shall we? So on Tuesday the 9th, we have the Sun coming to meet up with Uranus in their annual conjunction, which just means a meetup. They connect in the same sign at the same degree of Taurus. And this is where this like spark of inspiration, independence, and freedom comes to play. So wherever you're feeling like you're shackled, or you're feeling like you're resistant, or you're fixed and fixated and holding on to something that's not doing you any good, Tuesday is likely a moment where you break out of that. There is some kind of like huge sigh of relief, or an opportunity, or an event, or a conversation, something that shakes you up. Uranus is what I like to call the shock-jock planet of the cosmos. He is the planet of rebellion, surprise, unexpected change, pivots, turnarounds. He can knock you on your ass. That much is true. But it is really about igniting you from the inside out. So just think, and if you have your chart, again, find Taurus, find what house Taurus rules, find what planets you got in Taurus, and you can just get a sense of okay, I have a ninth house Taurus. I'm just going to use me as an example because that's the only person I can speak to in this podcast. But Taurus rules my ninth house. So we're looking at publishing, we're looking at media, we're looking at leadership opportunities. But we're really looking at, some kind of exciting moment. So if you are a Virgo and or have a Virgo rising, you're going to be similar to me. In this ninth house, an opportunity of expansion, of, stepping into your limelight, really doing what you're called to do. So you already know. I'm excited to see what this is for me. Uranus is incredibly hard to predict. Now, keep in mind, we are still in the season of eclipses. How was your weekend? The Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse took place on Friday morning at 10:34 a.m. Pacific on Cinco de Mayo. And that lunar eclipse came with an opposition to Uranus, a turnaround, some kind of aha moment, a wake-up call, whether that was internal or external of you. But here's what I like to say, because some people get real snarky with me and say, I've been fine. I don't know what you're talking about. It was 3 weeks ago for me. And on the inside, I'm like, was it 3 weeks ago for you? Well, if you listened, you would know that eclipses have been going on for over a month now, right? We've been in eclipse season as of, I should have wrote this down. This is what I mean. I retrograde myself all the time. Let me flip through my pages, make sure. As of April 5th, under the Libra full moon. So it's been over a month that we've been in the topsy-turvy time of eclipses. And for me, I'll just tell you, I have been hoodwinked so many times when it comes to medical things with friends and family. It has just been a lot of medical stories going on, and I've picked up my phone, whether I'm reading a text or whether I'm on the phone with somebody, hearing about the next person that has some story. It's just it has just happened so much this eclipse season. I mean, I love Astrologergram in this moment because I can say, okay, it's the season. This is what you knew to expect the unexpected. You knew to be open-minded. You knew to not manifest. You knew it would be crazy. You can't let your response be a thing because we're talking about someone else's story, and the best thing you can do is be there for them, show up for them the way that they need, if they need. And I really astrologer me has been helping real life me navigate these things because they've been really close to home, and they've been really, they've been tugging on my heartstrings, and likely, you have a story, whether it's you yourself or someone, people around you in your life, whether they're friends, family, coworkers, there's a lot of energy around, and it has been since April 5th of, having a support system. just to kind of, just if anything, to just kind of say, hey, like, I just need to kind of like vent or just talk about this because I feel like, I just have to like talk it out, but I don't want to make someone else's thing my thing because that's not fair and that's not even the point. It's just more like, yo, I am processing a lot of different things at the same time, and I just need an outlet, right? I've done that a few times. Like, this has nothing to do with me. It's just somebody I really care about. It's a friend, it's a family member. Like, it's on my spirit, It's not like, it's not my story, but it's weighing on me, So if you have that kind of vibe and you're like, then nothing's really like taking place, Graham. That's the tone I take with the people that get snarky with me. It doesn't really happen that often, but the people that get snarky with me, that's how I hear them in my mind. Like, I don't know, like, that's why I don't believe in that stuff. Because, like, nothing's even happening. I'm like, okay, well, let's give it a couple weeks and see. I don't wish bad on nobody. It's just funny when someone offers their opinion. Now, this happens a little more often than I'd like, but when someone offers their opinion, when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an astrologer and I own my own business, Drunk Astrology, and I'm like, oh, are you getting drunk? Like, what? What is that? What do you mean? And I'm just like, oh, don't even worry about it because you're not right for the business anyway. I need one of those signs. Reserve the right to refuse service. What? I'm drunk right now. Does that mean I can do it? Oh, gosh. It is really funny. I like the inquiries. I like it that people like hear Drunk Astrology and are like, wait, what? What is it? I like that, but it's a certain tone. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. Let's talk about the next planetary motion. Now, I'll just go ahead and say, and I'm really going to go in with the daily dosers, but Wednesday's a busy day. Tuesday, we've got the shakeup from the Sun-Uranus conjunction. Wednesday's a busy day. Friday is a super busy day. Mercury is really, like, before he stations, he's got some conversations to have. And let me tell you something. Work relationships, work conversations, and relationship conversations, Friday, Saturday, very positive, very forward motion. And I want you to take advantage of that. We have Mercury retrograde sextile Saturn early Friday morning. That is a connection with authority figures. Can also be parents. But right then and there, just like bam. Now, if you start a conversation on Friday and it's left a little open-ended, don't worry. Mercury stations on Sunday, and then he will repeat this sextile to Saturn next Thursday, Friday. So there's a two-parter here. So if you end up kind of like starting something that you're excited about, or there's some kind of forward motion, but you're like, wait, or maybe you need to be the one to say, hey, let's circle back next Thursday. Let's circle back next Friday. That is more than written in the cosmos. So take advantage of that if you need to. Someone gives you a task at work and you're like, oh, God, I got so much on my plate. Just say like, hey, how about we circle back in a week? And then, and then I'll have that answer for you. Or, that might be the response you get. There's a boomerang moment here. It starts on Friday, maybe even Saturday, and then it comes back in a week's time. That goes for relationships too, because Venus has a trine to Saturn late Friday, puts it into Saturday as well. So there's a great like foundational component to relationships. There's like a commitment. There is a forward motion and like getting your ish together as a couple or as a pair. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a lover, doesn't matter. Just think relationships, and relationships are getting a nice dose of commitment Friday, Saturday. Yeah, and then we have the moment we all are waiting for, Mercury stationing direct at 8:17 p.m. Sunday the 14th. Hallelujah, in the sign of Taurus. Let me just give you, before we go, I want to give you the retrograde phase, the date, the timeline of the phases. So you just realize, like, what just happened? Because it happened in the middle of eclipses, and you're probably like, what is this all about and why? What is the deal? So Mercury entered his retrograde shadow phase, his pre-shadow, April 7th through the 20th. So you go back to April 7th through the 20th and you go, okay, what was I talking about? What was I doing? What was the vibe? What was the conversation, etc. Then from April 21st to May 14th, the meat of the story. So this can be things that slingshot and boomerang back in a big way because it's the meat of him actually, quote unquote, moving backwards. Then from the 14th through June 1st, Mercury is going to be in his post-retrograde shadow, which I like to call the cosmic cleanup. There's the boomerang effect. You can go back to the preview, the 7th through the 20th of April, and the 21st through the 14th, and anticipate. Now, sometimes it's not the same players, but it's the story progressing and moving or cleaning up. So you just use those timelines to kind of go back and see, kind of like, okay, all right, so for the rest of May, I can kind of gauge like, oh, okay, I can pick the ball back up. Maybe you started something in retrograde shadow, started a conversation, you didn't hear back, things got wonky, people got distracted, messages went unanswered, etc. Now you can go be proactive about it and say, now I will come back around and follow up and say, hey, I know that we started this over a month ago. I just wanted to pick the conversation back up. You're all systems go after Sunday. Okay, so your last week of retrograde, you've got this. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let your hair down. Enjoy a super hyper dose of inspiration, independence, and freedom on Tuesday. And let your freak flag fly. Say that 3 times fast. Let your freak flag fly this week, okay? Hope you have a great one. I'll see you all week long on socials. Don't forget, your weekly horoscopes for sun, moon, and rising signs are available in your inbox. Make sure you're on the Cosmic News train. Scroll up. The link to put your email in is right there. And I'll catch you next time. See you. Bye. This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.